Hello everybody, it is Laura Van Vertlo and I am here today for my online class that is the Crazy About Fun Folds. And I want to say thank you to everybody that purchased this wonderful Fun Fold class. The next month, or this month I should say, it is the Inspiring Imperfections is what I've focused on because I just absolutely love these vases and the whole technique, and I cannot even pronounce it. Kansungu, I don't know. But it's the art of taking pieces of ceramic pottery and using gold lacquer to put them back together. So these are the cards that we're making, and you will get the supplies to make 2 of each. Oh, I do that so I can take the pictures. Sorry. 2 of each. And you also get a half a pack of the gorgeous, this is specialty designer paper, so it's a little bit more than the normal DSP, but it's just stunning. You'll also get a half a pack of these flower accents, a sheet of gold foil, and 3 sheets of adhesive sheets. And I will have all the information below, so you can be sure to register for that. But today I want to focus on our Fun Fold. Whoops, I'll find those later. Fun Folds class. This is the first card we're going to do. I found that is the most difficult, or I won't say difficult. Just want to make sure it was in the screen. I guess more time consuming than the other folds, but it was so unique that I really enjoyed making it. And it took me a couple tries, but once I figured out what the pattern was, it was super easy. So let's get started. In your packet, you should have everything. These are the pieces that you'll cut, and that will be in the tutorial. Let me see. Which card is this one? This one is 4x7. This is the one we're going to score and fold. And then this one is the backdrop piece. It's 5 by 3 3/4. And so let's go ahead and fold and crease this. There's my bone folder. And I'll put that to the side. And then what I did, you won't see, I'm paper saving, so you can cut out your shapes and then layer on top because you won't see them. This piece of paper will hide the yellow, and this will hide the green. But it's a great way to save money on cardstock, especially with the prices going up a little bit. And then I've already pre-cut the pieces. So this will be for the inside. This will be your mat for the pleat, the mat for the DSP, and then your card base. And there should be a little, oh, I know where it's at. Never mind. Okay. I'm going to put all that to the side. And this, you can either use your Simply Scored, or you can use the Stampin' Trimmer. And you want to make sure you're not using the blade. You want to make sure you're using the score piece, which has this little round nub. And let's see, it says to score at half, then 1. Then we're going to go all the way up to 2. Then 2 1/2, three 1/2, to 4, then all the way up to 5, 5 1/2, and then all the way up to 6 1/2. this is where it got me the first 2 times I tried to make this pleat. I'm going to go ahead and put this up because I'm pretty much done with it for this card. And this is where we're going to make the pleat. So you're going to go ahead and do a mountain and valley fold. Let's see if I can get, whoops. Trying to get more light in here. This one, let's see, how did it go? This to this and fold. So what you'll notice is these are 1/2 inch increments, and then we have an inch, 1/2 inch, inch, 1/2 inch, inch, 1/2 inch, inch. That's where I kept messing up. I was actually scoring it every 1/2 inch, and I couldn't figure out how they were getting it to do what it was supposed to do. Mountain. Mountain. Valley. Mountain. Sorry, I can't chew gum and talk at the same time. Really. It's one of those things. I'm probably messing this up a little bit, but I have a backup one that I already pre-scored before I got on here because I haven't made this in like a month, and it's kind of like, great. I am probably going to lead them astray. All right. So the whole premise is once you get, oh, yep, I did, but that's okay. They've been scored and they can go the opposite direction pretty quick. There we go. So see, that inch mark gives it this extra leeway to, okay, go in. My fingers just do not want to work today. I'm sorry. I think it's the weather coming in. Getting old is not for the weary, let me tell you. I'm going to paper craft until I can't. All right, so now that I've got all those folded, those inch-long pieces that are scored in between leave that backdrop. And that's where I kept messing up, because when you do 1/2 inch increments for the whole thing, it doesn't turn out. And then this is where it gets really fun. We are going to put dimensionals to give it a little extra pop right here. And I'm putting it to where you won't see it. And we're putting them on the inside of the inch, 1/2 inch marks. This is when I realized I was doing it wrong, because I was like, wait a minute, I'm putting way more dimensionals than the lady I watched a couple videos. And I know it's hard to see when you're just watching on a video, that inch mark. So I just really wanted to point out that that's what makes it so much easier. So see there, it's making it pleat nicely. And then I'll clean those up in a minute. And then, so here we go. It's going down a little bit. And this is what gives it the extra oomph. And I would either hand this to somebody or put it in a bubble mailer if you're going to send it to somebody via mail. And it may need just a little bit extra. Oops. See, this is where it gets fun. So let me get that little piece out. That actually might pay. I put the adhesive strip on the back of this, and I'm kind of glad I did now. It was a happy accident there, because I'm going to lay this down, and it's a one and done if I don't get it. There we go. So here, I'm going to really push that down so it sticks to that adhesive. And I'm going to go ahead and put some glue right here, some stamp seal, just so that lays down nice and flat. So there is your pleat. Once you get that pattern down, it is super easy. It looks super complicated, but it's a really cool looking technique or fun fold to put together. So let's go ahead and finish the card. I'll make sure, yep, I'm in the only thing about sitting down, I always worry that I'm not in focus. All right, And see, nobody's going to notice that we cut out the flowers for this card. And you'll thank me because that saved you another piece of paper to cut out. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same with this DSP. And let's see here. You can always mix up your designer series paper, or once you get a hang of this, you can make more. And hold on. You know, I forgot to mention we are actually showcasing the hold on, I can't come, like I said, Impressions of Bloom. So I'm using this and the coordinating dies, Impressions of Bloom dies, along with the paper that goes with it. So you should have half a pack of the paper. And then I went ahead and pre-cut these so I wouldn't have to do it while you guys were watching. And then this I kind of just cut a little bit smaller so it wasn't like the whole piece going across. So this I can, oh yes, I forgot. I did the adhesive sheet. Sorry. When you're in the design mode, you don't think of these things until after. You're like, oh yes, I can use adhesive sheets. Try not to rip the little leaves. They're definitely delicate. We're about to get some thunderstorms too, so you hear anything, that's what that is, the background. All right. Now these didn't really need a adhesive sheet because I felt that they were big enough. So I went ahead and cut out one of these. And then I did two of the smaller ones. This one just looked too big. Well, I guess we could do that one. Let's just do that one to be different. I probably could have used Glue Dot, but all right, so there's that one. And then here's the other small flower. And what's nice is when you're doing the cutouts, because I will send you cutouts if it's not part of the featured bundle. But these just lay inside each other as you put them through, and it gives it that texture. All right, let me move that over there. Let's put the rest of these together. I'll go ahead and get the glue dots out. All right, and I like to have my thumb or my finger behind there so it warms it up and helps it release from the waxy part of the paper. All right, let's put this here. And then I think I did, yep, adhesive sheets on this. Come on. Release. Got it. There we go. It's worth it though when you don't have to get your, I just love adhesive sheets. All right, another glue dot. Make sure I got the correct side going up. All right, we'll put that in the center. And then you will have this for the inside and this cute little label that you can use any of the sayings, or you can grab a saying from what you have on hand. And it looks like I used, let me use Secret C for this one. I was trying to do as least amount of colors as possible. Try to keep all the color family about the same so you guys don't have to have a million of them at one time. But it is nice to have all the colors. All right, so cut the card. I'm going to go ahead and just put some seal on the back because all the dimension is being, the pleats are helping us with the dimension. All right, so we got that. And then I added, if you have a Wink of Stella, I put, oh, this one's juicy. I put that in the middle to give it some extra sparkle. And then I'm going to get out the, which I should have had ready. All right, so these are, you should also have a pack of this in your packet. So I used the clear ones for this one, just because of the yellow. I thought it's Probably would have been fine with the pink, but looking for my, oh, I'm taking my pick tools across the way. So we're just gonna use my old and trusty one from when I started 20 years ago. And then, let's see, we could stamp a little flower on the inside and call it done. So that is your first card of the 4 projects that we have. And don't forget to stamp your envelope. And we will get set up for the next card. Okay, we are going to make the second card, which is a fun flip-flap card that I saw Rhonda Wade make, and I just thought it was too cute. Now, I'm adapted this to make it a little bit easier because after I designed it, I realized you guys may not have the Spotlight on Nature dies, and you really have to have the DSP to go ahead and do this pop through. So there's this option, but what you have in your packet, again, I pre-cut all these pieces. I give you 2 of these, so you can do one for the outside and one for the inside, and then that way it still looks the same. You just don't have that peekaboo. By all means, if you have, I'm just poking up little things. So my son loves to do this, and I guess he didn't get to these. So if yours are not poked out, I am so sorry. But what do you want? He's a teenager. He's a very good teenager, though. I'm very happy with my son. He's an amazing kid. All right, let's try and get those out so it's all nice. So we'll have 2 of those, and then you will have paper to cut out 2 of these, and one with the fresh freesia. And then I've cut out some leaves. And then, oh, there's another one. This I think is just an extra, oh yeah, I think it was for the, that was just an extra piece. Okay, getting my wits about me here. Okay, so this piece, let me get my cheat sheet here, because I don't remember stuff when I'm on a filming. The base is 5.5 by 6 1/4, and then you score on each side at 1 inch. I think I went ahead and did this for you. And go ahead and do that. And then you just choose 2 patterns of the paper that you like. And I chose this one to go here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some seal down. Oops. I'm about to run out too. I'm going to go find another one. Okay. And I want it to pretty much cover a good portion of the front. And it will be a little bit smaller than the length of the card. And you will have 2 pre-embossed pieces because this is, oh gosh, I meant to write this down. Nope, I didn't write it down. Lovely. Okay, this is in the new catalog. It's gorgeous. Ooh, excuse me. All right, and we are getting some thunderstorms here. It is Texas, and it is May, June. We usually get the crazy weather. And unless I hear sirens, I usually don't worry about it. So this will cover up the spot right, and it should butt up right to the end. And if it's just a tear over, you can always just trim it, which I'm going to do well, I'll do it when I'm done. So here's your first one. And see, this is where I would put the designer paper down and do the circle beforehand, before I stuck it down. But I think it'll be fine just doing it this way. Now we're going to do the other one right here. And I really liked this pattern to go with this fresh freesia pattern. And so I'm going to go ahead and put some seal right here. And we're going to lay that down. Hopefully get it pretty centered. There we go. And let me go get that other piece that will cover up. I have to go, I'll write down what, or put it in the description of the YouTube video at the bottom, what the name of it is. Because, you know, when I'm on the camera, I just totally, there's just something about being on film that makes me forget things. So here is that. Let's go ahead and bend those fibers a little bit more. Okay. So then, I might stamp that first before I do it. All right. Oh, that was not good. I should have lined that up better. Oops. All right, let's see if I can fix that. Almost can do it if you do it right. Oh wait, this is the tricky part. Now, if you do this, breathe a little bit on the adhesive with your breath, and it will kind of moisten it and heat it up just enough. And I don't think I'm gonna rip it. Yes, okay. So see, I got a tip out of that. We're gonna make lemonade out of lemons. Okay, I should have paid attention to that a minute ago. I do want it to cover so you don't see it. Like I said, I haven't made these in a month, so forgive me. There we go. So now it should be down, and you shouldn't see, and that little bit down there, I'll probably just cut it. Yikes. Okay. Now I just need to put this over that again. Maybe put some more seal on this one just because it's the top piece. Okay. All right, let me give it a little bend. Oh boy, that stuff sticks great to you. And maybe you won't see it because I just did that. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I'll just trim that. But it should look like this when you're done. This is what the original looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp. I just had extra pieces, so I just kind of put it down there. I'm going to do the Blackberry Bliss for the inside for this little flower. And I have a scratch paper over here where you can't see it, but I use it so I don't have to ruin my little mat. So I'm just going to do that. And then I find it easier to stamp the line images because then you can focus better on, hold on, I gotta figure out, there it is, the little pattern. Did I stamp off? I did. Okay, hold on. There we go. And then I think I did, oops, wait, what color did I do? Did the darker color. Then we'll just do that on the inside, and we're finished with the flower on the inside. So now I'm go ahead and put it down. So now you have a place to write for your flip-flop card. Oh, that thunderstorm is coming. All right, so now that's down. So now we just need to decorate, and I need to trim that. That's gonna drive me crazy. Okay. And if you're having issues, so it's back to that one. Okay, just talking to myself. Okay, what did I put for the set? Thanks for being there. I really like this. It's like another good color. Instead of having stark black, it's dark enough, and it's a little bit darker than Night of Navy. But I like it. It's a really pretty deep hue, but you can still see the blue. All right, it says thanks. Don't want to do it upside down. Do it a little bit off so it looks normal. And then we'll just put that on the outside. And then what did I put on the inside? Oh, that's right. And we can just do like another flower on this one. I forgot because it's a peekaboo. This with flat, because everything else I think I'm gonna do dimensionals. And once you put all your flowers around it, it'll look really pretty. So this one went on top. So I'm going to go ahead and use some more glue dots to put these flowers down. I'll put this flower down. I think this one I used in dimensional. I'm all about dimension ribbon. I probably should have stamped those first, but oh well. Where's that little one that I was just using a second ago? It is in the abyss. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna do Secret C and stamp it off. All right. That gives them their little center. There we go. It's coming together now, and then I'm gonna clean this off again. So we're gonna use the Blackberry Bliss on the Fresh Freesia. And I'll probably have to cut another flower for the inside just because I forgot about that part of it. And once you add your flowers, it really kind of comes together and looks really pretty. All right. And we will do some leaves as well. There we go. Just want to close this because I am notorious for getting my hand stuck in ink and then getting it everywhere. Okay, these I did not put adhesive sheets on, but you feel free. I gave you enough adhesive sheets in your packet that it should give you enough to make all the cards that are in there. All right, we're almost done. Oh, nope, I did. Ah, I guess I just missed it. Thought I did adhesive sheet. Whoops. And, get off of me. This one will probably be a little difficult just because. Come on. There we go. Tuck that one under there. All right, so now we just need to put some Wink of Stella on there. I love Wink of Stella. It is one of those things that I have like 4 or 5 at the same time, at all times. And then I think I did the clear with this one as well. But you have a whole packet of these, so you can use whichever ones you want to make your cards pops. And if you want to use more than 3 on each card, you can bling it up. So there is card number 2. All right, let me get things ready for the next card. Okay, I'm going to attempt the third time to try to show you how to do this card. It's your traditional gatefold. And what happened last night was I was filming during thunderstorms and we had a brief power outage and I didn't realize I lost a whole section. So I'm going to show you this beginning part. You're going to take your strawberry slush that is included in your packet. And what I'm going to do is line it up at, here's a 0 here, 4 1/4, 4 1/4. And I find it easiest to not score it because then I can get it to not overlap in the center as if I do when I score it. And that's Jasper trying to get in. The other reason why I was having issues getting my thing filmed last night. All right, so then we're gonna have this one meet up in the middle. Yeah. Okay, so then we have our 2 pieces of the Designer Series paper that are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And we're gonna glue those down. And then you're gonna have another piece of DSP that you're gonna, well, not the DSP, but this is the bigger of the 2 dies. I didn't realize this till I started playing with this, that you want the one that just cuts out just the oval for your base. And then you're going to cut another piece of designer paper with this one, and it's going to leave the section. Sadly, I already put the whole card together, so what it's going to do is going to put this piece, so it's a very thin piece, and I would suggest using the adhesive sheet to have it stick down better. And then, okay, I'm back. I had to go cut a new piece of paper since I glued the wrong side down. So you're going to do your designer series paper and this with the one die that just cuts the whole piece out. And then the other one cuts a smaller one of these, but it also cuts this outline, which I think is really pretty. All right, excuse the little rip right there, but I figured nobody's gonna see it once I put this on there. I'm gonna tape the correct side this time. Let's see. And let's make sure it's centered pretty good. All right, there we go. Now, because I didn't use the adhesive sheet, I'm going to pray that I can get this done with the fine tip glue pen. But I always tend to get quite a bit of glue everywhere. Let's see. And we just had some thunderstorms, so I had to stop filming for a little bit because we actually had a slight power pop. Nothing major, but enough that it would have messed up the lighting in here. But it's on its way out. And then there's your tip. When you're trying to get this back on, you know, because my eyes are not like they used to be. There we go. See, your finger helps you guide it into the hole. And then I'm trying to push it down to get through the glue. And there it goes. All right. So flip this over very carefully. And we are going to, this is the fun part. This is why you have to make sure you have, nope. That's why I should have used the other glue. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. And then we are going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Put all our pieces together. So you're gonna go ahead and cut. I know this looks really weird that I did this teeny little piece, but I just wanted one to kind of offshoot to make it 3. So I did 2. I'll go ahead and do this. I cut 2 of these. There we go. And where's it? 1 of those, which will make 2 pieces. I did 1 of the white flowers like we have on the other 2 cards. I did this one, and I did just the tip of this one and the leaves, so I could make this pattern on the flowers. Okay, so, and then I gave you a little piece so you can cut out the center, and then a piece for the inside, and then we also have that piece for your sentiment. So let me go ahead and get my scrap paper so I don't have to get ink all over. Okay. So this is where you will see a little surprise and delight in your kit. There's some daubers, which one of them got knocked off. Perfect. So I'm going to take the strawberry slush with my dauber and open it up. And I'm just going to kind of get an idea of how this is, how dark it is. But I'm just going to go right there in the center and kind of just give it some depth using the strawberry slush. And I think I'm going to do this one on top of it. Yep, there we go. And then this one I'm just going to do, and then if you want to just a little bit lighter on the outside of the petals, you just kind of wipe off some of the color. But I just like to kind of give the flowers a little bit more dimension. And it's a real easy way to add dimension to your die cuts. It's just to give it a little bit extra pink. And then this one, I just kind of did the outside of the flower to kind of give it like at the, you know, carnation, when you have the pink on the edges of the flowers. I always think, I love carnations. I just think they're so pretty. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. Okay, so now we can build our flower. What did I do on the inside? Okay, that one. I'm going to give it just a little bit longer to dry. Open that back up again, and we're going to do the strawberry slush flower. And then I'm going to stamp off. I like to stamp off when I'm using the same color because you get two different hues, but they complement each other really well. And then we're going to get some yellow and the Daffodil Delight. Ah, sorry, that was kind of painful, the sound. All right, I'm going to put this on the... Oh, wow, that's dark. Maybe I didn't clean it as good as I thought. All right. That's going to go on the inside of the card. And you can also put leaves in there if you would like, because this is your card and you can always change up. If you don't want to cut this out, or if you didn't get the flower bundle or the Impressions of Bloom dies, you can just use the pieces that I gave you and just make it a rectangle, and it still looks just as pretty. Okay, I think it has dried enough to where we can build our flower now. And again, I went ahead and just cut some of the flowers. I think this is the one that I cut off. I'll keep it just in case. Okay, so this one has adhesive sheets on the back. I love to use those, especially with these tiny, 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 thin little dies, because you see what happens when I decide to use the fine tip glue pen. And I'm going to do it a little bit off center, just so we have room for the sentiment. All right. And then I'm going to build my first flower. That's where it goes. Okay. I couldn't remember where I put the third flower. Okay, so I just did the very tip of this because there was no need to cut the whole thing. Oh, wow. That was some thunder. Thought it was past us. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. Come on. There we go. Well, Jasper found something else to play with while I'm in here. All right, this is where your glue dots really come in handy. So we're going to go ahead and do probably two, one in the center. I put them kind of like this. And then I put more on there than I wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and layer it like that so it looks like a more open flower. And then I'm going to put more glue dots on the back of that so I can put it down. All right, so that's this flower. And then we can do this one next. I can hear him doing something in there. He just always up to something, that little stinker. All right. So go ahead and put that one here. Put a glue dot on the little Daffodil Delight piece that you're going to cut out. Or you can stamp it. All right. And this, I think, is where I put the... Okay. This part I don't think really matters how you do the leaves, because nobody's really going to see that I just cut those apart. All right, come on. There's just something about me trying to concentrate and talk at the same time. I apologize. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tuck that leaf probably like that. Oh, let's go up a little bit. Ah, there we go. Because I'm going to use one of the ones I just cut, because we're going to put a bow right here and cover this. So nobody's going to see the overlap of all that. And that's where your ribbon's going to come in handy. We have the ribbon on this card, and the other one, it's the 1/4 inch. I just tore that one. Okay. It's the 1/4 inch white ribbon, and I'll show it to you since I finish this, because we got to tie a bow. Okay, come on. What it is, it's these little, there we go. Those little mini cuts that are in there just kind of make it kind of fragile. I'm just going to snip a little bit of that so I don't have that overlap that much. There we go. And then we're going to do this one. Where'd I put they're right in front of my face. There they are. I'm going to go ahead and put these little flowers together. Now on this one, I do want more of the, see, how did I do that? I just kind of, yep, there we go. Just kind of overlapped them just a little cattywampus. And then what's nice is these die cuts really just make this come together so simply. And all your cards may look a little different. All right, so here's the ribbon that I was talking about. So you should have a whole spool of this ribbon. And what's nice is you can dye this with your reinkers. You can use your blends. If you use your blends, be very careful with the tip, especially the brush tip. If you're able to use the thicker tip, I recommend that. But you can always put a little bit of rubbing alcohol and some reinker in a glass container and dye your ribbon overnight. So if you don't have the exact color, you can always have something white like this. That's why I chose it, because I thought it was pretty easy to use for a lot of projects. Ah, there we go. Told you I can't concentrate and talk at the same time. All right, I just like to do two. And then we will cover that up right there, and then I'll trim off with my good scissors. I hide these from everybody because they cut like butter. There we go. Okay, so now we need to stamp our little sentiment, which there, I decided to do a hello on this one. You can always, I decided to do a different set just because I kind of like to change up the sentiments on my card, because somebody might like, you know, I like to sell a lot of mine because I have so many of them. And I just want them to be able to, like, if they like the design, they can have more than one option of the sentiment, if that makes any sense. Like, one can say happy birthday, one says hello. This one has just a note, and then this one's going to be the hello. And I'm going to put it right there. And I use the Secret C. I'm just trying to keep as few ink pads that you need to have as possible. Or you might have them all, like I do, but I just know doing these kits, I don't want to use 50 colors. I usually just kind of, nice tip is I use the Designer Series paper on the back and use that for my guide. Okay, so pop that, yeah, there we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to put some of these right here, only on the one side, because if you do the other side, it's going to stick together and you won't be able to open the card. So we're just going to do these. I like to stick my fingernail in the middle. There we go. And sorry if you see my head, but I want to make sure I center this nicely. And I'm going to have to glue that down one more time. There we go. All right. So now we're going to bring out our little gems again. This time I am going to use the Fun Strawberry Slush Pink, because I just think it's so pretty. And I'm going to make it like the part of the bloom or the bud of the flower to kind of make it pop. And then I'm going to do one right there to give it that, you always want the 3. And there is this fun folded card. All right, and don't forget to stamp your envelope. I will stamp mine afterwards just because I want to clean my stamps really good so I don't have the wrong color again. And we will make our final card. Okay, we're going to do our final card, which is a fun flip here. Flip this down and you can tuck a gift card right there. So this was a swap that I got, and I just changed up very little with it because it was just so cute. And I just loved the patterns that went with it. So you will have all your pieces. I went ahead and pre-scored this. The measurements will be in the tutorial. I just shut my cheat sheet. Hold on a second, I'll tell you what the measurements are. There we go. The base is 10 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I need a, there we go. Forgot to get a hole punch or circle punch because I want to do a quick little spot right there. That way they can grab that gift card out of there. So this is 10 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then we're going to score at 5 1/2 and at 8 1/2. And then we're going to glue this down just on the sides right here. And I suggest tear and tape or the Seal Plus. You don't really need that much of it. That's almost too much. And then this way it can, you don't want it to be too tight in this pocket because then they won't be able to get one in there. And what I do before I glue it down is I usually grab one to make sure it fits. And I always keep these from Starbucks just for that reason. All right, it's my favorite one. There we go. So it fits just fine. So I can go ahead and take the glue down or off the little, what do you call it? The backing off. Okay. Get that over to the side. And we are done with the tear and tape. And then we'll make sure, little gift card holder. I'm going to go ahead and do this just to make sure it is down really good. All right, so now that's the piece that's going to fold upward. Now, this is cloud cover, and it's 9 1/2 by 2 1/2, and then I scored it right down the middle at 4 3/4. So I'm just going to put, let me get this trash out of the way, seal on the back of the one side, because that will be stuck down to the inside of the card. And I am going to stand up for this so I can do this, what's the word I'm looking for, properly. Let's see, there we go, okay. Just need to center it now. It kind of went a little wonky on me there. All right, we're gonna have to go with that because it was stuck down. Okay. Now I'm going to put the designer paper, which is 4 by 2 3/4. And I just really like this pattern on the back. It needs something that just a nice complement, not too busy for what I'm going to do the main focal point. All right, there we go. So that's there now. So that flips down. So then it's already coming together pretty quick. And I do believe I may have forgotten to put a piece in there for you guys to stamp the flower. I apologize. I can definitely send you one, so reach out to me because I like my kits to be complete. And sometimes there's an oversight. But hopefully you have some white scrap laying around, so hopefully you can make that. So I put one of them on the inside for where you're going to write. Now this one, we're going to go ahead and use the Granny Apple Green. Oh gosh, that sound sometimes just freaks my nerves out or something. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I've got the stem that I'm going to stamp here, and that's where the bow is going to go because I almost never can get this to line up. Oh, pretty good actually. I'm quite shocked. The first 2 times I tried it, it was not very good. So again, I always say to use the lined image first because it's a lot easier to focus when you're doing the 2-step stamping with. So I went ahead and just did the stem like so, and then I'm going to go behind and get the fill in. I call that the fill stamp. I don't know what else to call it. And I'm going to stamp off. My paper's clear across the table, so this was the closest thing. Nope. The stamping off I like because it just kind of gives it a variation of the same color that you're using. And I think it just adds a little bit more visual interest. All right, so then I stamped the flower, kind of the same premise where you do the line stamp first. And I did the fill in with a stamped off image, and I went ahead and cut it out. And I used the Daffodil Delight for the center. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put some dimensionals on here. I mean, our card is almost done. I like to use the quickest one last. Notice we started with the most detailed one, with the pleated one. And there we go. How did I do this? There we go. So now we got the flower. We can, now that I've got that on there correctly and know that it's stamped correctly, I will put some glue down because if I messed it up, I wanted to be able to use the other side. And I'm so glad that my seal stayed full enough for me to finish this card because I was scared I was going to have to refill it while I was on with you guys. Okay, so there's the secret C. And then we can do a thanks again. Because if I'm going to thank somebody, I might give them a cup of coffee for helping me out. So I think that's perfect. And that's the secret C. And then this, I just wanted to make it simple in case you don't have the dies. All you have to do is just snip. Make a nice diagonal, and it makes a nice shape. Different, makes it, you know, instead of just a straight piece of paper, I just think it gives it better visual interest. So now we're going to put that down. We're almost done. All right. Really helps to cut the stuff though ahead of time because I didn't think you guys, if you're getting my kits, you're a little bit more avid than a beginner. So I think you pretty much got that part down. All right. So we're going to pop our ribbon, the 1/4 inch or 1/4 of an inch white ribbon. And I don't do that knot when I do mine. I find that, like when you're tying your shoes. Okay, there we go. I just do the loop parts. And I just kind of zhuzh it a little bit until I get it to the way I like it. But I've also been tying bows for a very long time. And see, I'm going to stick it right there. So it covers up where my stem wasn't quite perfect. And then now we're going to put, well, as soon as I find that, there he is. Let's see, we're going to do the dark pink again. I just love this strawberry slush. It's such a pretty color. I'm going to do one there. And I'm going to do one up here. And one up here. And then we're at a little wink and we are finished. We have done all the cards. That's a little crooked. It's hard to tell from this angle. There we go. That drives me crazy. All right, I'm going to put some wink in the center just to give it a little bit extra. And we are finished with our final card. Oops, did I? Oh, I did. Oops. What did I do here? Oh, there's a tip for you. Don't put the dimensional all the way on the sentiment. That was goofy. All right. Just wad that up and get it off there. There we go. All right. This to there. And we have this one and this one, and we are finished with our class. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next month with the Inspiring Imperfections. Be sure to register by the 27th of June. Thanks. Bye.